Hey all, thank you for joining me today. In this video, we're making the Red Ranger Power Sword designed by me, Mr. Campbell Prince. This version of the Power Sword is a split model, i.e. the red part is split into two halves to stick together, but it is a solid version which is available to download as well. But with that being said and done, let's crack on with the video. Now, the same with all my recent videos, since having the Bamboo Lab P1S, the supports are coming off super easy. This print came out exactly how I wanted it, and as always, I'm building it now for the first time as you're watching it, so I hope it does turn out well. Or I wouldn't have made the video really. These supports came out really nicely. There's a few snaggly, sticky bits, but other than that, just using a bit of the clippers, it came out nice and easy. Going back to supports in a way, it's orientated, obviously it's a split part, so it's face flat down. But if you do decide to print the solid model, I would suggest printing it vertically so you've got less supports just for the side bits. It will come out just as nice, but that's just my suggestion. For anyone wondering, the filament I'm using for the red part is the Sunny Red PLA. For the black part is also the Sunny Black PLA. Silver was Sunny Silver. But for the gold bits and the green bits, I was using the Overture Silk Gold and Silk Green PLA. This video is not sponsored by any of them, but that is what I use in case you guys were wondering. In terms of actual print type, well, file size, I guess, and all of that stuff, it was done at a 0.2mm layer height at 200mm per second. I didn't need to use a brim, but except for the sword parts, the blade, and so obviously supports were needed, but just up to you depending on how you like to print. Now, once again, the parts came off super easily. There wasn't any issues. Once again, the supports were just as easy to pull off, maybe because I had practice from doing the first half. But as you can see here, the print quality came out immaculate. There are no issues whatsoever. If anything, I might even try to do it on a smaller layer height, because now the Bamboo Lab P1S has got an update where you can do 0.8mm layer height. I didn't notice that before. If it was there, let me know, but I never noticed it before. So I have tried doing that on models coming up in later videos, but for this particular model, I think I'm going to try it just because I think it will look even better and it will not need me to paint it. Moving on to the pommel, same issue, nothing, well, not even an issue, the same thing, it was just easy to pull off. And you can see the colors are really popping. Now, when it comes to the blade part, I tried to hollow it out as much as I can. I didn't want it too hollow because I wanted to have a bit of rigidity to the model and give it a bit of strength, because these models, as well as being a 3D printed model, they're good for toys, they're good for cosplay. So if you don't want to use the connectors that I've printed, if you want to use metal rods, by all means do it to strengthen the inside, but it is quite strong as it is. And as you can see, I also numbered the rods that go inside it, so when you're actually assembling the sword, as you'll see later on in the video, it's easy to follow. But yeah, this was once again super easy to move with supports, and I'm really happy with the way this turned out. Now we get to the best part of all the builds, the assembly. I'm just adding a few drops of glue here to add these beautiful green emeralds, and I'm using the Overture Silk Green PLA. This video is not sponsored by them, but nevertheless, this is a wonderful PLA to use. This was quite simple. It's literally glue and stick and you're done. Can't complain with that. These gold bits were also quite simple to stick on, a bit of dab and a bit of glue, but actually designing these gold bits was a bit more difficult than not, because even though I'm creating all my models and my props from scratch, I'm doing a one-to-one replica, I don't want to, copyright infringement. I don't want to copy every single bit, so I do add my own twang and twist in it. So the patterns on this are close to the original, I guess, sword, but I've added my own little shapes, like those sort of palm tree looking things I've designed myself, so to speak. And that the lightning symbol that goes in the middle, that is you know, it's close enough. It looks similar. You know what it is once you see it. But yeah, it's not exactly the same. Nevertheless, this was once again simple. I would say don't put too much glue here because there isn't much room around it. So if you do glue it, you don't want it to seep out the sides. So just a few little drops is enough to stick it in place and you're good to go. Now, as you can see, the handle came out amazingly. And as I alluded to earlier, you can literally pop this in. It is friction fitted. Just put a bit of pressure, lock it in, and it's good to stay. Of course, you can add glue if you want, but it isn't necessary. As long as your printer is tuned well and it prints exactly the size you print it, it should be fine. You do need glue to obviously attach the pommel to it, and I am going to glue it into the guard, but it is not a necessary step. Now, going back to the sword assembly, I'm just fitting it to make sure it's all in place now. There's number 1 there, so that goes into the first bit. Number 2 goes into the second, 3 goes into the third, and 4 goes into the fourth. So number 1 is the giant base of the sword handle. A few taps to put it in place. You put 2 on top, and then you match the patterns up and line it up. I did mess it up, as you can see. I had to check again just to make sure. Patterns are similar, but there is very slight differences between this part I'm putting on now for 3 connecting to 4 and 2 connecting to 3. So just have another look just to make sure, because they will only fit in the one it goes into. And not the end of the world, but it's not a mistake. This is a massive sword. This is a meter long blade almost. In total, I think the sword measures just under a meter. Not the blade, but you know, the whole sword in total. So it is quite a big model. So for you cosplayers out there, this is great for you. Or if you just want to keep it on your wall like I do, you can as well. Now, inserting the power coin, oh, I love it. This makes it all worth it. Once again, I designed all these power coins myself. I'm looking at the images and I'm designing it. I'm not sort of, you know, finding the model elsewhere and adapting it. This is all from scratch. So you may notice the Tyrannosaurus Rex might a little bit different from the TV show, but hey, I'm not a great artist, so to speak. Now, there are connector bits to attach the blade and the rest of the guard. Like I said, you can print this in a solid model, but as you can see, it all slides into place. Just checking the fit now. So I put those 2 connectors in. I'm gluing in the blade into the guard, and I'm gluing in the handle to one half of the guard. Now, once that's all glued in, you leave it for a bit to dry. And then I'm just going to add a bit of glue on the top here so I can sandwich it together with the other half. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the video. Please like and subscribe if you like the content, and leave a comment because it helps the YouTube algorithms. And if you want to download this model, check the links in the description below, or check my Esty store for the physical model. But with all that being said and done, let's get onto the glamour shots. Let's go!